different vision, right? It's supplementary. And I think that, as time goes on, and people see the power of it, you might bring in a little extra capital to play with it. But you'll realize that Hex and Unity are two very different systems. They're completely different, and they always will be. They serve a different role. They serve a different purpose, and they're going to have different outcomes. When you understand Unity as well, like Hex can outperform Unity. Like if Unity and Hex were built on the same token, Hex could outperform by multiples because of the way the system of Unity operates, and because there's a floor systemically. And so it's going to go up and then it's going to come down. It's going to go up and come down. And it's going to oscillate over this floor that's increasing over time because of the difficulty metrics, but it's not designed to go off into the moon by itself. But if it couples itself with something that is deflationary, cap supply, and it can enhance that, then it can basically achieve that same thing. But by itself, it can't do that. So Hex is a different product. Very different timeline, very different purpose, different market, I would even say too, potentially. Yeah. Completely. So
that brings the question. So you've got this protocol that, obviously helps create more scarcity in PulseX, helps actually spend more pulse, which is deflationary. Also, obviously, it has some type of a buy and burn, you were saying, or at least, buy and burn.
Pretty massive, yeah.
all that's positive externalities that are programmed into it, and I've studied those things, ad nauseum, and I understand how they work and why they're valuable. My question is this: the geek, the guy that's been around for a long time and studied enough of this that myself, I know, we understand what it means to the system. So, people have to push the button. Like, your token requires that people push the button. The button gets pushed. I mean, for any token, of course, that's obvious. It's either the buy button or the sell button, or, but the more the button's pushed, the more positive pressure it puts on the ecosystem. PulseX, and like I said, different product than Hex. It's not the same thing. It's got some of the tokenomics that are built into Hex, or obviously you're using some of the concepts of the tokenomics, but the incentive and the education to get people to a point where they understand what this token does, or what it can mean to their portfolio, or what they might want to, how they can gauge this thing. What do you think? I mean, it's one thing to build these things and see how awesome and bitchin' and cool they work. It's another thing to go to, especially a community as fickle as this, that is like, oh fuck, just another fucking Rube Goldberg machine that's going to burn and buy and this and that and the other and this, and I got to stake and I can already stake, and why would I stake, and blah, 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 blah. What do you think? You've already developed, you're a developer, you got a developer mind, you get all this stuff. What's the formula to get people to push the button? What's going, obviously the community is your biggest market, and 3/4 of them are fickle. The other quarter of them don't know what's going on. How do you reach, or how do you think you're going to reach them and show them that, hey, my protocol does this, and that, and you just need education? And how have you thought about that? Is there a way to get around that? Because I've seen all these things, and I mean, even with Hedron, people have, said, okay, yeah, Hex is good enough. Everything else is just, and all these things have positive externalities built into them and help the ecosystem, or give more options to people. Do you see a way around all that and getting education, teaching people how to push the button? What's your answer to that?
So it's actually been really cool. And this is why I'm really thankful that I did launch on Ethereum first, because now I'm coming to Pulse Chain with real world experience. I've been seeing what's been happening in the telegrams. I've been talking with people literally every day, and I've been learning about where people are not understanding, where people are understanding, and what's keeping them in, what's getting them excited. And when people like this, the simplest way that I can explain it to people is this is something that you don't need to understand the system in order to play the game. The thing is, I've designed it in a way where people can come and know that they can consistently earn an ROI, right? If they want to play something that is just going to consistently do something over time, and it might be a high ROI, there might be periods of low, there might be periods of up and down, but they can play this game over the long term. And it's designed with the best of the best tokenomics kind of synced into one. But instead of having to know the system, all they need to do is they need to follow the big gold or the big blue, in the Unity case, numbers guiding them on which action is easiest or which action is delivering the higher ROI currently. And all that's giving you is this action, if it's higher, means more tokens over the period that you're waiting. And then when that's done, you reassess which action's bigger ROI. Okay, gonna do this one next time. Boom. And you keep going back and forth and you watch your tokens grow. And this becomes something that, you know, is designed to hopefully one day be a nest egg for the people that get in early, that have some, that decide to play the long haul. Like when you get into the weeds of the system, even if you go a little bit deeper than this explanation here, which is literally, you got to type in the date, how much you want to put into the system, and then click go. And then 3 months later, come back and do that one more time. And then 3 months later, come back and do that one more time. And so when you go one layer deeper and you understand how I designed the difficulty in the system to be exponentially in favor of those going longer, then people start to realize that what they've already been doing is actually one of the most powerful ways to operate the system. And all that knowledge only concretely showcases why clicking the button with the biggest numbers at any given moment is typically the best way to operate in the system when you want to get the most tokens. And so it's kind of this rabbit hole where you start at the top and you just follow the shiny objects, right? I've designed it that way, where like if you go to the DApp, it shows you the next day's payout. And like,
so you gamified it a little bit so that people can see.
You know what? And I didn't realize how much I gamified it. I really didn't. I gamified it in a way that I was as well as I could. I put big shiny numbers on, huge numbers. I put big golden ROIs, you know. But what I didn't realize is that because of the nature of the supply being competitive, and there's this game of leapfrog where if I make a creation today and you come in tomorrow, you're taking from my future supply and you're deferring that into the future. And so what happens is on the daily token releases that we have on the dashboard that will be out for Unity as well, you can literally watch the numbers going down every single day when people are coming in. And this also means that people's share of the earnings over time is going down daily. And what I did not predict, and you can ask if there's anyone in the chat here that is in the Unity or TORUS telegrams that has been in TORUS so far, this is one of the hottest things in the telegrams. Like, I can't stop creating because I'm losing my share percentage every single day and it's killing me. I have to go in, I have to go in, I have to go in. And so all this together, like people are there. It is the gamified aspect of the share system. Then there's the, well, how does this stuff work? And then they come into the chats, and because I have chats every single day, they're able to ask questions and talk it through. And then all of a sudden they get it. They're starting to see the vision. They start to see how this whole system comes together, but it starts with that simplicity. And when you see the DApp, it comes together.
See, that's the one thing that I think that crypto needs more of. And I don't mean, goofy gamification. I mean, showing people the numbers in a way that they can see them easily and understand them easily. Like, for instance, you should have the buy and burn number clicking away. You should have how much pulse has been burnt clicking away, how much PulseX has been burnt clicking away, right there on the front of the website, so that people can see exactly what it's doing, versus you need to know and understand and have sit here and watched me stream, you stream, 100 guys stream, talking about what you're doing to understand what it's really doing. But if they can see it right in front of them, pulse burned, PulseX, burned, or whatever it is that you've got going on there, all of the ROI, the changings of the numbers in a simple, non-ridiculous way. I think that stuff like that, especially in protocols like this, is probably going to be the ones who win, the people that can show folks what it's actually doing versus, well, look, I mean, you hang out with the smart guys on the cutting edge of crypto. Like there is nobody more advanced and cutting edge than you guys, period. End of story. Like you guys are galaxy brain motherfuckers that nobody can understand even a little bit about what you guys are doing. And you guys understand it easy because finally one day it all clicked. You know, you guys were doing all of this stuff, putting all this in it, boom, and it clicked. And you're like, oh shit. And you went to it, you went to work and you start building things and you made things happen and make things work. And you see how the seesaws raise things and lower things and how everything, but normal folks don't see that. And guys like me who've been in crypto since 2014 that understand it, that understand, metrics and tokenomics and staking and proof of work, proof of stake, all this other crap. I find it hard to wrap my head around seeing what it is that your token is actually doing. And if there's a place for me to go and see that happening real time, watching the numbers move and seeing what it's doing to all the tokens that it touches and to the investors that are in, I think that's the winning ticket there. So that you don't have to show me how it works. You don't have to, open the hood of the race car and show me what the timing is set at or whatever. Just put me in a car, show me how to get around the track and let me race, and let me see everything that's going on. I think that's the winning combination right there for things like this, is people need to see what it's actually doing. Because here's the thing. There's probably 3 or 4 people in the chat room already, talking shit about what you're doing and whatnot, or questioning it. And you're going to see that all the time. The maxis are going to get out there and they're going to do that. But if your proof is in the pudding and you're showing it to everybody without having to explain the tokenomics and they can see easily what it's doing, versus how do I know it's burning PulseX? What's the tokenomics on how it burns PulseX or whatever? Blah, blah, blah. No, here it is right here. Here's the ticker. Look, here's the PulseX being burned every second of every day. Here it is. Oh shit, that's what it does. Oh crap, and more people are buying. Oh, and that's what it's doing. Oh, and that's my ROI. And I think that's the ticket.
Mm-hmm. That's really, that's why like day 2, I had a dashboard out. I had a dashboard built and had, so all people could watch the numbers moving, watch the stats, watch the supply, watch the creations, watch the stakes, all these different moving parts. And then a community member actually came out. What's that?
So you've done all that and that's in the website.
And that's it. This isn't a separate dashboard. We have links in the website to the Dune dashboard that you can go click on, boom, right there. And we're going to have the same thing for Unity, hopefully out on the day it launches. And this is, you're hitting on the big thing. I wanted twofold. One, I wanted the simplest, easiest to understand dApp, even if it's got everything possible complex under the hood. And I also wanted all the information to be out in the open immediately. I didn't want there to be paywalls. I didn't want there to be anything, but everyone to have the same information. And what I also didn't think about initially was what you're pointing to, which is how powerful that is for people to understand what's happening within the system. Because from day 2 or 3, when this dashboard got launched for TORUS, to now, like, people have had their minds blown, and me too, honestly, seeing it real time, watching the supply numbers for the big day 89 start at like 4.7 million tokens expected to come out, and now come all the way down to 1.7. And we still have 60 days to go. It's like, this is insane. And so people are getting so excited. They're starting to see the leapfrog and the competitiveness and how the self-decentralization happens, and it's getting sticky. And so for Unity, everything we're talking about is exactly the same, but tailored to PulseX specifically, with the dashboard, the design of the dApp and everything. And was there one thing I wanted to hit on quickly, but it might have just slipped my mind with everything I was just saying there. What was it? So you hit on the idea of Hedron and Icosa, right? And everyone trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I personally, that was like, I love that. I know you guys, if anyone was watching my content, that was all I talked about for like months. I just like ate that up. And one of the things that I really loved about Hedron was the HSIs, the stakes that you can create, that you can move around, right? And so we are actually in the process of, for both TORUS and Unity, coming out very soon, hopefully not long after Unity launch, but it might be a little bit still, we'll see, for people to be able to create or stake and have that same feature where they can move their creations and their stakes around from wallet to wallet like as soon as possible. So this is not a one and done thing for me. I have a much bigger vision. And even this layer, I've said this publicly, so I'll say it here, that this layer where people can have NFTs and then maybe sell them on the marketplace or just move them from wallet to wallet for security reasons. This is a foundational layer for something even bigger that is coming down the pipeline that seals the deal on this. And I don't want to say anything else, but I do want people to understand that this is not a one and done. This is something that is going to be much bigger than a single protocol, because I've learned a ton and one protocol could not encapsulate it all. So I have a lot to bring out still.
Nice. Well, I mean, I watch how these things launch and I watch how they're accepted. And I know that, there's a lot of excitement around a lot of the smart people that get in. And then those that don't understand, and there's so many of these protocols too. I just think that getting it in front of people as simple as possible and showing them how it moves the whole system is how you want to communicate to everybody. Because you don't want just, you're going to get a core group of people that come in that have been in your Telegram room, that are bringing folks in, that are bringing investors in and whatnot. But how are you going to get that protocol after? Because here's the thing, and you're going to prepare for it too, I'm sure. And you can tell me your thoughts on if you've got a safeguard for this. When Ethereum really starts pumping, it's going to suck the air out of the room. Now, the tide's going to raise all ships, but people are going to be running to Ethereum. I don't think this ecosystem will be running to Ethereum as much as, like, say, the rest of the altcoin system. You know what happens. ETH runs, everything gets sucked out of all the other coins. And then wham, it flows back in, like, Hex is going to run and it's going to, all the other altcoins are going to run after that. And then, but when the core coins in this community start running, that's when the energy gets sucked out of the room of everything that's involved. What's your fix for that? What are you preparing for that? Is that something you've been thinking about? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's actually critical to the design of this whole system, is for that scenario where people leave to go somewhere else. And again, this is part of
88 days.
88 days.
88 days.
Yeah. So here's the thing with creating, which is kind of like, a minting, mining ish mechanic. Because it's a new thing, I'm just going to refer to it kind of like that, but it's not. It's a new thing. Acts similar ish. But what happens is you have, with staking, the ability to early end stake at the 50% mark, and you can get your principal back. And so what this allows people to do is to end early and leave and go to ETH, go somewhere else, do whatever they want, right? But what happens is every single Unity token is worth a fixed number of shares in the system when staked or created over 88 days. So one token is worth 7,744 shares. I'm not going to ask you to remember that, for the love of God. But 7,744 shares for every single token in the pool. So what happens is when people say, nah, I'm done, I'm going to go over to ETH, they're actually making more room for people to earn in the pool. So the ROI for everybody else goes up. It's reflexive. And so when people start leaving en masse, let's say like in large quantities, the people that are staying, let's say the price dips, people now, you're not buying tokens. You're buying shares at a discount.
The pool's gotten smaller, but the inflation's gotten bigger. So you're getting more of the tokens.
Exactly. So it's this crazy push-pull. And the thing is, because the system is always getting more difficult over time, and shares are always getting more difficult to get in form of earning from the Unity pool, right? You get this situation where people that understand the system are going to fight for that, because you're already seeing it in TORUS, already seeing it. It's crazy. Like, people were coming in, they didn't even understand creating, and they were buying up the price chart to just stake because they just wanted to stake. And this is showing that staking has a massive demand, and we're only going to see this more. But anyways, it's the whole point of when things are drawing out from the ETH side is you can't completely eradicate that. It's not possible, I don't think. And it'd be ridiculous to say I've solved it.
Price action, period.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's reflexive in helping those that are loyal, that stake, that are staying in because they're going to get more inflation. But of course, it's going to hurt the price, which doesn't matter because those who are staked are long game players. So they're hoping for the gains later. I'd rather earn the tokens now, stay, and other people can go look for green pastures and chase green candles. I'm going to stake and stay and gain more yield, just like we're kind of seeing in the Hex ecosystem right now, where, the yield has gone down because the OA is staked. Bear market ends. Value can go up. People can start staking again. Yada, 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 yada. I get it.
Mm-hmm, yep. Mm-hmm. And then when you add into that mix too, that every time someone wants to stake, with whether it's that opportunity, let's say someone's selling and there's an opportunity to get cheap shares now, even if they get cheap shares, they still have to burn PulseX to get back in the system. Yeah. So every opportunity to play in the system,
so the ebbs and the flows both burn and move the system.
Exactly.
You're burning and burning and creating value in the PulseX ecosystem, in or out. You're moving the needle up.
Exactly. You cannot take an action in the system that in some way does not cause a reaction to end up burning PulseX. Really, just it's designed. What's that?
It's burning either way. It's when I was a millwright, here in Southern California, I moved machinery. So I moved machinery in and I moved machinery out. So in good times, I was putting machines in, and in bad times in the economy, I was moving them out. So I was always working. I was always making money, no matter what was going on in the economy. I had a great job. It was a suck job, but I was making money whether the economy was doing good or doing bad. I was either moving them in or I was moving them out. So I always had good. And that's what it reminds me of, is that you've built a system within an ebb and a flow where you're creating energy going both ways, which that's what's cool about crypto, man. That's what's cool about DeFi, is that you can take these externalities and make that energy work for you going both ways. And that's cool, man. It's what this stuff was made to do, is come up with ideas like that to make things work for everything, the energy going in, the energy going out, whatever it may be.
Yep. Well, and let's take it a step further here, because this is already like really cool and exciting, but this system is even more extreme than this. So if you want to think about this in terms of the Unity's ability to burn PulseX, right? Let's say on day one, every token can burn a little bit of PulseX in terms of when it wants to come into the system via staking, right? In order for that one token to be staked, a little bit of PulseX needs to be burnt. Now, let's say that's 5 PulseX on day one, just for example, right? On day 2, that's going to go up to just over 5. By day 20, it might be 5.1 PulseX that needs to come in. And eventually we get to day around nearly 900. Now it takes that single token, now takes 10 PulseX to burn in order to get into the Unity pool. But also, so that's huge. It's already, by that point, it's taking twice as much PulseX per token. But what's happening is the supply is expanding so fast that now you have, this is where things get crazy. And if this goes over anyone's head, I apologize, but this is one of the most important things to understand the power and the depth of its impact that it is going to have on PulseX, is that each token is having an increasing amount of PulseX that it can burn every time it comes in the system. And every day, more Unity is being distributed. And so the supply is expanding and expanding and expanding. And every one of those tokens is able to bring in more and more and more PulseX while there's more and more tokens coming in over time. And this creates an unbelievable exponential rise in the amount of PulseX required to stake 50% of the supply, 30% of the supply, 80% of the supply at any given time. So for example, when there's 10 million tokens out in Unity, it'll take, I believe it's 50 billion PulseX that will be required to stake all 10 million. And that's about 100 or so days in. And that means there's going to be about 4% of that are burned. So that's, if my math is right, that would be 10. Is that 10 billion?
You're asking the wrong guy.
No, sorry. 50 billion. That'd be a couple billion. It's still in the billions. It's still in the billions is the point. So it's like 1 point something or close to 2 billion. I believe it is. That would be burned immediately. And that's only in the first 100 days. And then the supply expands. There's more Unity, more PulseX required per Unity. Boom. Even more Unity burned the next time, even more PulseX burned the next time around, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, until a point where there's no PulseX, and the only thing PulseX can do is like start reaching Andromeda and all sorts of other crazy places in space that are just.
So the supply is basically limited to how much PulseX can be burned, right?
Well, the supply is fixed at about 125 million.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's fixed.
It's a fixed end supply. It's like Bitcoin. It inflates over time, like vertical at first, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then it goes, yeah, they all do vertical at first, and then slowly tapers out over time and flattens, and never quite gets to 125 million. So it caps there.
It just keeps half and half and half and half and half and half and half.
Exactly. And it just never quite reaches that. And what's cool is the difficulty, though, of the system never stops. So even when the system gets to 124.9999999 million tokens, the amount of PulseX required to stake a single token is still going up every single day.
Yeah. Because it's just it keeps whatever they call it halving on itself over and over and over and over and over and over. It can never go to zero. It just keeps zeroing out, and the PulseX is still going up. Whether or not you're really creating any real supply anymore, you're still burning PulseX at more exponential rate.
Yep, exactly.
And very cool galaxy brain shit, man.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to stop me because I mean, there's so much to this. It's so fun to talk about. I mean,
yeah, and then you say you have more shit that you're building on top of it. That's cool, man. It's cool.
Dude, just wait. Just you guys wait. I mean, this is gonna be so fun. Yeah. I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. Honestly, it's funny to be here right now, having as much fun, having these conversations. Given I just can't stop thinking about where I was like, honestly, I was pretty bummed out. I was like, not depressed, but when you get close to that state where you're like, what am I doing with myself? Who am I? Where am I? Like, what's happening here? Like, what am I doing with myself? And to be there, and it's not dark, but like as close as it's been to dark times, and then flick of a switch, like a year and a half later, and now it's like I am so energized and full of life again.
Man, that's all it takes. It's really like in this crazy crypto space that we're in, man. I mean, gosh, when I was just wrecked before Hex came, and I was so jaded, and then that first year was just insane. Like your whole life changed. And like I said, I didn't put, life changing value at risk. I put a very modest amount of, money at risk here. I mean, it was my crypto bag that I've been building for a while off of a small amount. But it was house money, basically, all my Bitcoin and everything. And to see it do, a 10,000x in, within, a year and a half, a year, it's euphoric. It's insane. It's insane. And to give it all back to Richard for sacrifices, I was rather ironic. It was like, yeah, here, I'm going to show you guys how to make a bunch of money, and then I'm going to ask you for it back.
When you put it like that, man.
I wouldn't have it any other way. It really, I mean, it's all turned out great. And, what you guys all have been doing here, what Richard's been doing here is, giving me hope again in this crypto space. And just, I'm euphoric just seeing everything that's going on. I know we're not in like monster green candle land. I mean, we were at 3 cents on Hex, a few months ago, and and here we are creeping to a penny and a half, and everybody's euphoric. But it's really not just, the number go up, why everybody's so happy right now. It's what everybody sees coming. You can see it coming. You can feel it in the air, what's about to happen. And that it's, I know there was a lot of talk, oh, Hex is missing the bull run and it's going to miss it and this and that and the other. And we haven't seen it yet. It hasn't happened yet. It's not here yet. This is a different kind of bull, and not much different, I don't think. But I think that crypto has come to a place where this is possibly going to be the biggest move that we've ever seen as far as, the whole ecosystem goes. It's going to be really, really exciting. And that's why I think everybody's fired up right now, is because you can see it, you can smell it, you can feel the kinetic energy. All the things that Richard's talking about, what he's doing with the marketing and just to tap on that a little bit. He'd been talking about doing real marketing for a long time. And we all know that, in Hex's first run, for Big Payday, we had, there was somebody in I think in London that was tagging buses, tagging taxi cabs, putting articles in newspapers. So there was some marketing that was going on, with Hex back then. And it coincided with the bull run. It coincided with the halfening and the bull run and everything else that was going on, with the adoption amplifier and everything. It all coincided and created that 10,000x. Richard knew what he was doing. The people that were working with him knew what they were doing. And, and the marketing was part of it. And here he is, he's getting ready to start a massive marketing campaign. Or there's nonprofit organizations that are out there that are participating in it. I've been privy to some of it. I've been, helping people out that are talking about it and whatnot. But I just think that everything's falling into place. All the right things are being done. The fact that they are going to be doing some marketing is going to help. I don't think I see the community out there, busting on the marketing campaign and the devices or whatever they're coming out. And it's like, guys, it's just part of it. Like, it's just part of it. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot more than, just everyone was busting on the postcards. It's just part of it, guys. The guys are out there doing postcards. It's their thing. Why row your boat gently down the stream, folks? Get together, synergize, positive feeds on positive, helping each other out instead of trying to drag each other down, going with the flow, making people aware of these things, educating, showing unity, being part of the kinetic energy, going in the same direction. Go into a mosh pit and go the opposite way and see what happens, right? It's that same, you got to go with the flow. You got to go with the flow, and you got to keep it. And that's what gets that energy going. And that's what we got to do here. It's like, why, if you're part of the system, would you go out there and knock a marketing campaign and talk shit about it? Why would you do that to your own bags? Why would you sit there and why would you not get behind it? That's marketing, guys. That's what marketing is it doesn't matter how goofy, corny, or whatever you think it is. If you say it's fucking cool, if you say it's good, it's bad, then that's what people think of it. If you get out there and knock it and talk shit, then a handful of people start listening to you and start doing that. And then there's people out there going, yeah, well, the cool guy over there is saying that it's shitty, so maybe I shouldn't, gently down the stream, guys. Get behind everybody, push everybody in the same direction, get things moving. Things like this, Unity. You guys are, perpetually working on moving the system in the right direction. And that's cool, man. And I wish the best for you and what you're doing. I hope that it turns out freaking phenomenal. Again, everybody, do your research, look at what they're doing. Again, your dev team, I don't know if you want to mention them or if that's hush hush or whatever.
No, I'd love to.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're the goat of dev teams, in my opinion. I couldn't be happier to be working with them. Many of you will know Rags to Riches or Brandon Davis. He is, he's been around for quite a while, built many things, and he owns buildthetech.com. And he and his team are phenomenal. They have built many protocols. All of them have been, if they've all operated perfect from basically day one. And I've been fortunate enough to work with them since, for TORUS and now for Unity. And I could not be more thrilled. I mean, their craftsmanship is incredible. How much they care about their work, how much they care about seeing the success of the protocols they build. It's been really cool. And I mean, God, it's pretty intense to think about taking on a protocol and putting that out there and people putting their money into something that could potentially go wrong, because you can only audit something so much and you never quite know if it's for 100% certainty,
and audit, in my opinion, I've been on that end of it. I've been on I'm not a dev. I've been on the team of where devs are involved, and guys, the audits are bullshit. I'm sorry. It's like it's partial security, partial. You're taking other people's words that I've seen miss things, that I've seen, not do the right things. So yeah, sure, an audit. You did your due diligence and you paid for it, and you're trying to show everybody that you're doing the right thing. Okay, great. But could there still be problems? Could there still be an issue? Did they catch everything? Are they on the up? Yeah, a lot of times I thought that was a waste of money. I think that if you have a legitimate dev team with integrity, with staying power, with a track record, that's your best bet versus trusting an audit. And I know that, because the audit has been, popularized and kind of people like, oh, that's the stamp of approval. And in my opinion, it's not, because I've seen it not be. I think it's really a waste of the dev team's money and time and effort. And I'd rather see a solid dev team with a track record doing their work versus an audit. And in my opinion, and I'm not endorsing, you or your project or whatever they don't have a better team out there than Rags and his team. They're phenomenal. I wish I would have been able to work with them when I had projects going on, but he's solid, and they don't make better integrity out there than that gentleman. I mean, he is the best of the community of us, and anything that he's put his hand on has, been solid technology. So I commend you for bringing that team in, because they, in my opinion, they're the best, especially in Pulse, because they know Pulse Chain. They know what they're doing here. And when it comes to integrity, there's no one I trust more than that guy there. So,
well, 100%. Well, that's why I couldn't believe I actually found them, because I was working with one team prior and just nothing got done for a couple months. And I reached out to Rags again or Brandon and decided, yeah, okay, let's make it happen. And then it was like instantaneously, I could not believe the quality of everything from the onset of, okay, this is how things are going to go. Here's the timelines. It was just like, I especially because a lot of this space is amateur hour times 20 million. It's like
I had devs that I owed money walk away. Like, bro, I owe you money. I got to pay you. Like, tweet, cricket. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you abandoned the project that you are owed money on. Like, what is your trip? I don't get it. Like, and you're done with it. Like, you're done with it. Like, you just had to clean up a couple of things, anyway. But I mean, that's the kind of shit I've seen out there, and maybe not nefarious stuff, but just lazy, no good, no work ethic. I mean, it was pathetic. Some of the stuff I saw with some of these devs, and with Rags, you don't get that. You get he's solid. They don't make him any more solid than that. He's professional. I haven't seen much of professionalism in this space, and he's that. So, hats off to you. Good job on securing him, man.
Somehow, some way it happened, man. And you know what's cool too, even on the whole side of security too, Unity is quadruple audited now officially. So not only do we have one of the best dev teams, you know, in my opinion, in this space that I've come across from hearing from others in my experience, and then looking at the track records, but we also have 4 audits done on Unity by the time it's been done. We had 3 audits done on TORUS, and we had now another one that just completed today for Unity, and it came back with nothing. So a couple of informational things. That was it, really.
Very cool. All right, everybody out in the chat room, anybody else want to come in here and chat with us? You don't have to talk about graphics project. We've gone over that. You can come in here and talk about anything else. This is the FN Hangout. If not, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here. Anything you want to kind of close with there, buddy?
I would love to, if I could. Can I pull up the front page of the Unity dApp just to give people a quick idea of the layout, and then I'll say 1 or 2 things, and that'd be it.
Can we do it real quick? Because I really don't like doing that, but we can do it real quick. Just
yeah, I'm not gonna dive into the dApp itself. I'm just gonna be like, ta-da, and then we'll talk.
Let's see. SJ, can you pull that up?
Here, I'll pull it up. I can.
You got it?
Just let me know when it's up on stream here.
Here we go. Let me add it up. Bang, a bang, a bang.
So all I'm going to show you guys is this is what you get when you come to Unity. 1 button. You choose your action.
Very clean.
That's it.
Very clean.
So everything, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this, was because everything we talked about is super complicated. And there's so many moving parts. There's so many this, and there's shares, and there's that, blah, 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 blah. But then it all comes down to simplicity. And this is the idea behind Unity that I want to bring to Pulse Chain. So, I mean, the only thing I would say is thank you for having me on. This has been a pleasure again to come on and hang with you and on the chat and all the Hexicans. And I'm really excited to see this whole ecosystem really start to take off here. And if people do want to learn more about Unity, the best place to do that is in the Telegram. So it's t.me/UnityWin, and then follow Unity.win on X.
SJ is going to have all the links there in the bio down here, and he has it all. She has it all down there already, so it's good to go. And the other thing I wanted to tell everybody, a security protocol. So, what'd you do, SJ? Oh, oops. At the bottom of that. Of his website, it says connect wallet. I want to teach everybody something here real quick. If you're going to go and connect to a dApp and you're going to do it for the first time, you need to get yourself a wallet that is not connected to all of your stakes, all of your anything that you have out there, your big value. Go get a test wallet, set it up. If you want to go in and play with something, you want to connect to a dApp, and use that. Do not go in with your crypto value and connect to any dApp. Do not do it. Not from anybody on this channel or any channel out there. Go get yourself a test wallet if you want to play with something, and go do that. That's the safest protocol you can do. Do not stick your stuff into holes that you don't want it stuck into.
Well said.
Stick. So with that, hey, I appreciate you coming on, bro. And again, like I said, folks, I am not endorsing his product because I don't know it. I don't know what it does. I know the people who built it. I know who he is. And there in and of itself makes me interested, and even wanting to talk to him in depth about it like we did, just because I know what they're doing. I know what their plans are and what their intentions are. And as far as integrity goes, these people are my friends, And so, you know, that's my disclaimer. I know them, and I'm not telling anybody to buy their stuff or get involved. And if you do, be careful, do your due diligence, and don't ever overextend yourself on anything, because this stuff's all dangerous, can go up and down and go to nothing. And there's all kinds of things that can happen as far as, you know, dev stuff. Even though the devs that I think that built this did probably a phenomenal job, you got to be careful. So with that, I'll say thanks for coming, bro. Appreciate you. And man, come back and we'll do an update when you guys launch after your initial is it like an inflation period? Is that what's happening right now?
No, it's so that DApp I showed you is just a private, like a little test thing. So it's not live at all. It goes live.
You have oh, was that for the other protocol you had on ETH that was doing that?
Yeah, so ETH is going through. There's kind of just operating. There's no real inflation phase. It's just operating at the highest numbers. Yeah.
Okay, so this you haven't even started to have people jump into it yet or anything like that.
Well, TORUS is getting decent, but yeah, Unity, no. The Telegram's pretty much empty right now. It's 200, almost 300 people still. So.
Oh, nice. Right on, bro. Well, hey, good job and awesome job on explaining what you're doing there. And again, I'm rooting for you. I wish you the best and keep on tearing it up in the ecosystem.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I would echo, yeah, please don't just jump into this thing because you got excited on the stream. Please do your damn due diligence. You know, let this thing prove itself through not my words, but how it operates, and then be extra careful.
Right on. All right, everybody, have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll make it to our cigar show, and we'll see you then. Take care. Hey, go find us a van. Richard said he was looking for a van or something.
I'll work on it.